Hi, I'm Mr. Miller, and this is a lesson on mean, median, and mode. So for my students, if you could take out this handout that says mean, median, and mode lesson, the three measures of central tendency, and we're going to talk about the definitions for mean, median, and mode before we start getting into the examples below. So let's go straight to the completed definitions here. First off, the mean is the average of a set of data. This is where we add all the numbers together and then we divide by how many there are. For median, the definition is it is the middle number or numbers, or it could be the average of the middle two numbers if necessary, if they're different numbers. And that's when the data is arranged by size, so either in increasing order or decreasing order. And finally, we've got the definition of mode is it's the most frequently occurring datum, which is a single data point, or it's the most frequently occurring data, that is to say there could be more than one mode. It's possible that there is no mode, and that happens when all the data are equally frequent. So some of these things may be a little bit confusing while you're looking at just the basic definitions here. So let's start to look at the examples, starting with finding the mean, median, and mode for each of the set of data, and comment on whether each is useful as a measure of central tendency, or if the measure is meaningful in some other way. So the first set of data is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to calculate the mean, what we're going to do is we're going to add all of the data, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, and then divide by how many there are. And there are 5 in this case. Now this calculation, when students do on a calculator, I'm going to do a quick demonstration with Desmos. Most students will find that they go to enter it in on their calculator exactly how I've said it. It's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 5. Now you might be thinking, oh, Desmos made a mistake. Well, no, Desmos did not make a mistake. This is order of operations. If you enter it like that, then it will only divide the 5 by 5. So Desmos kind of makes it obvious that this is incorrect. The problem for most people is that when they do this on a regular scientific calculator, maybe with just a one-line display, is that they won't notice that mistake. They'll just blindly copy down that it's 11, and of course this is incorrect. So in actual fact, what we want to do is we want to put the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, calculate that first, and then take that result and divide by 5. So you can either do that on a separate calculation, or what you can do is you can put the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 in brackets, which forces the calculator to do that first, and then put divide by 5. And now you can see it's got the proper notation, which matches the notation that I have here on the board. And in that case, we get the correct answer for the mean, or the arithmetic average, which is 3. Next, we're going to find the median. So for the median, you have to make sure that the data is in order. And in this case, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's what we call ascending order, or from least to greatest. It's okay to go from greatest to least as well, or descending order. And once you have it in order, you can pick off the middle one. Okay? Now it's pretty obvious this is the middle one here. If we work our way from the outside in, you can see that's the middle number. So this is the median, is 3. It happens to be the same as the mean in this case. That's not always the case. And the final thing is the mode. Now, in this case, since mode is supposed to be the most frequently occurring datum or data, And there isn't one that is more frequent over the others. We say that there is no mode. So let's go on to example B. All right, here's the data. To find the mean, we're going to add all the data together. And divide by how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of them. So now I'm going to do my calculation using Desmos. So I put in brackets, we're doing 0 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 12. Close the brackets, and then I divide by 6, and it gives me a mean of 9. The next thing I do is the median. So this is the middle number if they're placed in order, and they are in ascending order right now, so I can go ahead and do that. So I can just say, okay, going from the outside, working my way to the middle. And there's the middle two numbers. So the median in this case is the average of those middle two numbers, which would give me 10.5. And finally, we have the mode. So the mode is the most frequently occurring datum. And it's clear that since there's only 1 0, 1 9, 1 10, 1 11, but there are 2 12s, the mode is 12. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention on the previous example, so I'm just going to go back to it for a second, is that both the mean and the median are good measures, good representations of the center of the data. So we're adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 and dividing it by 5, we get 3, and that is exactly bang on the middle. It's the median, so both are good representations of the center. When we take a look at the next one, example B, what you'll notice is that the mean is 9, and this is on the low end of the data. So I would say that's not a good measure of the center of the data. And the reason for that is because 0 is what we call an outlier, and that brings the average down. Median, on the other hand, the 10.5, this is a good measure of the center of the data because it's right here in the middle. So sometimes average or mean can be a good measure of the center, but median tends to be better. Mode is an interesting piece of information, the most frequently occurring datum or data, but what you'll find is that it can be anywhere in the data, and for this example, we see that 12 is at the high end of this data, so it just happens to be the case. So let's take a look at the next set of data. Here's the data we have. We've got 4, we've got 3 5s, we've got 1 7, we've got 1 8, we've got 3 9s, and 2 10s. Okay, so the mean is the average, so we're going to add all the numbers together. Now I could do 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, but I know that I'm going to have a number of 9s and a number of 10s, so I think I'm going to use multiplication to shorten up how this looks. So instead of doing 5 plus 5 plus 5, I'm just going to go 5 times 3. And then I'm going to do 7 plus 8 plus 9 times 3, and then 10 times 2. And I'm going to divide by how many data there are. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 data. So now if I do that calculation, here's what it looks like. So I'm going to put the numerator in brackets, and I'm going to go 4 plus 5 times 3 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 times 3 plus 10 times 2. So I close the brackets around that, and then I divide by how many data there are, which there are 11. And so the answer is 7.363636. You can see that the 3 and the 6 repeat. So with this repeating, I can round this off to 1 decimal place if I prefer. I don't get too fussy about the rounding part. That is the mean. The median is the middle data, the middle datum, or the average of the two middle data if there are an even number of data. In this case, we've got 11. So I'm going to count my way into the center. So I start from the ends, 1 in from each side, 1 in, 1 in, 1 in. There it is. There's the center of the data. Now, if you have a large number of data, counting into the middle can be a little bit of a tricky task. So I'll give you a way that you can do that a little bit more quickly if there are a large set of data. So what you'll notice is that this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th datum in a set of data that goes all the way up to 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's not 11 divided by 2, it's actually 12 divided by 2. So what you do is you take the number of data and you add 1 to it and you divide by 2, and that will tell you 12 divided by 2 is 6. It's the 6th datum, which will be the middle one, and that is our median, which is 8. And then finally, as far as the mode goes, I notice that we have 3 5s and we have 3 9s. We only have 1 4, 1 7, 1 8, and 2 10s. So the most frequently occurring data are 5 and 9. Those are the two that are the most frequent. So here is your task. What I want you to do is to make up your own practice examples. I want you to make a set of data that matches each description. The first description is the data has no mode, and the mean and the median have different values. I also want you to make a set of data that has 2 modes, both of which are larger than the mean. And finally, I want you to make a set of data for which the data includes an outlier that is twice as large as the median. Now, what I can do is I can show you how to check this on Microsoft Excel. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to check the mean, median, and mode for the last set of data that we analyzed. So here are the data points. We've got 4, we've got 3 5s, we've got 7, 8, and 3 9s, and then we've got 2 10s. Okay, so if you want to calculate the mean, here's what I'll do. I'm going to label mean, and then I'm going to calculate in the cell right next to it here in D1. So I'm going to put equals because this is a formula, and I'm going to type in mean, and then I'm going to highlight all the cells for which I want to calculate the mean. And what you'll notice is it doesn't work. So actually the name of the function in Excel is called average. So it's just called average in Microsoft Excel, and when you do that, you'll find you get the 7.36 repeated, which we got before. The median, and I believe this one has the same name. Yes, okay, so median, and then I'm going to select all of the data, and then I'm going to close the brackets and press enter, and it finds the middle number, which is 8, and that agrees with what I found as well. And now for the modes, here's what you need to do. You need to go equals mode dot mult. And then you're going to select all of the data and you're going to press enter, and it will give you both of them, 5 and 9. So isn't that handy? It will do all these things for you. So I would like for you to do those practice examples, making up your own set of data and calculating the mean, median, and mode, and then checking using Excel. And then I want you to make a set of data that matches each of those 3 criteria. So I'll go back to that page now. So I want you to make your own practice examples that matches the criteria. So first set of data, the data has no mode, and I want you to make the median and the mean different values. Then make a new set of data for which you have 2 modes, both of which are larger than the mean. And then I want you to make a third set of data for which the data includes an outlier, which an outlier is a point that's significantly different than all of the others. And in this case, we want it to be twice as large as the median, which is the middle number. And again, you can check all those using average, median, and mode.mult functions on Excel. I'll also have an answer key, an example that you can check on my website. So that's the end of this lesson on mean, median, and mode. Hope you understood pretty well, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.